Hi there, this is Saurabh and you are watching the Genesis YouTube channel. In today's video, we will learn how to find the total electric energy of a system. We will see how to deal with the interaction energy and the self energies. The problem goes like this. Consider two conducting concentric shells of radii r1 and r2, where r2 is greater than r1, having charges q1 and q2 respectively. What is the electric energy of this system? I suggest you pause the video and try to do it on your own. This is the answer to the question. The system is shown in the figure. Here, these shells have charges Q1 and Q2. Now, the total energy of the system will be the self energies, sum of self energies plus interaction energies. For any system, the net energy of the system will be the sum of the self energies and the sum of all the interaction energies. Here we'll have two terms of self energy corresponding to each shell and one term of interaction energy. Now, for the self energy, you know the result kq square by 2r, so I'm not going in depth into that. Now, here we focus mainly on how to find this interaction energy. Now, to find this interaction energy, we can take a small part dq on the outer shell. Now, this is almost like a point, and the potential due to q1 at such a point will be kq1 by r2. And therefore, the potential energy of the Q1 and dq system will be kq1 by r2 into dq. And therefore, the interaction energy of the two shells can easily be calculated by integrating this, where dq is integrated from 0 to q2. And this gives us the result kq1 q2 by r2. Here k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Now we could also have taken the element on the inner shell. If I take the element on the inner shell, this is dq now, then this point is an inner point for the q2 shell or the outer shell. Therefore, the potential at the location of dq will be k q2 by radius of that outer shell, because the potential due to a shell in its internal points is k into charge divided by its own radius. And therefore, the potential energy, the interaction potential energy, can be written as this potential into the charge dq, and integrating again, this time dq gets integrated from 0 to q1, you get the same answer. And therefore, the energy of the system can be written as the sum of self energies kq1 square by 2r1 plus kq2 square by 2r2. These are the self energy terms, and the interaction energy kq1 q2 by r2. Now we have written it down this way, but now what I really wanted to show you is how to write this in another way using the idea of energy density. Now we know that wherever there is an electric field at any point in space, wherever there is an electric field E vector, the potential energy, the energy density at that point, energy density is energy per unit volume, energy density at that point is half epsilon naught E square. Now this expression allows us many simplification in many situations. The idea is now we view that the energy is stored in the field with an energy density of half epsilon naught E square. So how do we apply this here? To do this, we first see what is the charge distribution. You can see here the charge is Q1, so this will induce minus Q1 here, and the outside charge will be Q1 plus Q2. So you can see that the field lines will lie like this in the region R1 to R2, and also the field lines will be in the outer region greater than R2. from what we know about conductors, we can assert that Q1 minus Q1, Q1 plus Q2 are all uniformly distributed. And that is why I'm drawing the field lines radially outward and straight. So now we can visualize the situation as the energy of the system lies in this inner region and in this outer region. That is where the energy resides. That is where the field is, and that is where the energy resides. How to find this energy? To do this, take a spherical shell shown by the dark black ring here. Take a spherical shell of radius x and thickness dx. So the volume of such a shell will be 4 pi x squared dx. And therefore, the energy stored in this will be half epsilon naught e square into 4 pi x squared dx. Now understand, why am I saying that at all points of the sphere, since the field is radial, I can say that the magnitude of the field will be the same. And therefore, I am simply multiplying the energy density into the volume. If the electric field were to be different at different points of this shell, I could not have written this directly. But here, since the field is radial, the situation is spherically symmetric, we are absolutely sure that at a distance x, everywhere, the value of the field, the magnitude of the field is going to be constant. And therefore, now we find the energy of the system by integrating this expression from 0 to infinity. So this expression is the energy stored in this small part. Now take x from 0 to infinity. Now I'm breaking this integral into three parts. First from 0 to r1, second from r1 to r2, and third from r2 to infinity. Now from 0 to r1, in this region there is no electric field, and therefore this first term goes to 0. We don't have to bother about that integral. In the second part, in r1 to r2, the field is only due to q1. I trust you are able to see this, and therefore instead of E here, I write k q1 by x square whole square. And from r2 to infinity, the field is due to q1 plus q2, and therefore I write this as k q1 plus q2 divided by x square whole square. Now I leave the calculation up to you. If you do the calculation, you will get the total energy as the same as before. Now you might be wondering that why I am showing you a method which is actually longer than the first method I showed you. The answer to this is, in many situations when you have 3 shells, 4 shells, and we just change a small thing in that system, the first method is actually going to be longer to find the energy change. Instead, if we are able to find the region in which the field has changed, where the change has occurred, you just find the initial and final energy in those regions of space and subtract it. That gives you the change in energy. To substantiate this, I'll be doing a problem very soon, and I'll be linking it to this video. You'll understand this. Just hold on till the next video. You will understand why knowing both the methods is actually a good thing. So if you liked the video and learned something from it, like, subscribe, and share widely amongst your friends. And as always, till the next time, stay safe and stay healthy, you all.